Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War, Campaign 8, Week 1, Day 5. So today, of course, we got ourselves a Vault weekend, also going to be hitting a fun milestone, finally. It was the goal of last year, but finally reaching it now. Level 1,700 as we go do the Vault event grind. Haven't really had time to grind any yet, however, we shall be grinding quite a bit right now. So of course, during Vault events, you have a increased chance of not only finding gnomes, but also finding keys from those gnomes. And best way to do is just spam explore over and over again. So let's start with Cinemirage, mess with this. Probably gonna do some Paloozas too. Haven't been recently because of the curse gnome and the buffs and everything. But now that we don't really need curse gnomes anymore, yeah, we can kind of just go and just do them normally. But we will start with just some quick kill first. Actually, I might as well go with the single dust up. Then again, I don't know. During an event, I probably want to go for the double cast. You can go for the single cast when you're doing the farm. Maybe I should, actually. There are some gnomes that will appear that do not end up dying to the 20 damage. However, more of them will than will not. So you know what? We're actually going to go try the one-shot one for a little bit here. The triple Iron Hawk, which isn't used too often. However, it does one-shot these instantly, which is the main benefit for. Oh yeah, also we get to test version 6.15 right now. The main change in version 6.15 is supposedly the map menu shouldn't take as long to load. Actually, so much so, let me go bring out the controller and set that up real quick. Because I want to see if that still like lags like crazy when you keep going back and forth to this menu. And it would allow us to do this team quite a bit quicker since we're doing the one cast version. So let me go do that real quick. Should be fully charged as well. We'll just go hook this thing up, and we'll be good to go. Let's see, put this right over here. If I can get the thing open. Let's see, get rid of, oh, it's not even in. Okay, perfect. Click the right one. Quite literally, it's the right one. Not the left one. Let's see. Oh, I didn't double check to see if it's actually working. I assume it is. We might need to restart the game. Sometimes it wants to restart, sometimes it just feels like working immediately, and it feels like working immediately. Perfect. Okay, so let's see if this lags the game like crazy. So, 6.15 basically did one singular change. And that one singular change is they changed how the map menu loads. So supposedly it shouldn't lag as much. And we'll get to see that because this is the first time I've really bothered mass grinding since they've made this change. So far it seems fine, however we haven't really farmed much. Normally it takes like 10 minutes or so, if not longer, before it really starts getting lag. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, hello everyone! Hello Tony! Hello Peter! Hello Barbara! Hello Bill Warhammer! Hello Daddy Shark! Hello Isabel! Hello Mister! Hello Tyrion! Hello Bushka! Hello Roman! Hello Sushi Ninja! Hello Mr. Z! And hello everyone else! Welcome, welcome, welcome! Yeah, Wild Plains and Cinemirage are the two lowest durabilities. There's a few others as well. This 20 damage method doesn't work in every location. But Cinemirage is one of the few that it does. I just always happen to choose this place normally these days. Blackhawk used to be, but if I'm not mistaken, the new faction actually made it so you can't farm there anymore. Because some of the troops from the faction had higher durability. But so far so good on the loading screens, but we haven't done a big chain yet, so we'll find out in like 10-15 minutes if they actually fixed it that well. That'd be funny if we don't see that broken text anymore. That was such an iconic broken text. When the game would lag so much going back to that screen that it just breaks the text into a billion pieces. But that'd be amazing if they actually fixed that. Oh no, I think I just saw it slightly. I don't think they fully did. I don't know, we'll find out after a long duration of time. Because it normally takes at least like 10 minutes of doing this before it really starts to lag the game. But so far it seems like it's smoother than before. Because that fix, while pretty small, is huge for Vault events. Just because the amount of time that'll save you on loading. Because for whatever reason, however they had the map screen set up, it would take so long to load sometimes. Especially if you played a lot of battles very quick consecutively. But supposedly they either completely fixed it or at least made it better. Which, despite being a small patch, is actually a really good quality of life patch. Hey, first gnome. Unfortunately not one I need. Was that verse 1? Yeah, verse 1. Isn't verse 1 the one I have the most of? I can't even remember these days. I know verse 2 is the one I need the most of. Cindy Savage Lips. I'm pretty sure 1's the one I have the most of. Yeah, Blackhawk needs 25 now. So you can still do it with the other team, of course. I believe every Explorer in the game can be ran with the 25 damage team. But only a select few can be ran with 20. This being one of them. Do I speak Russian? I do not. I only know English and a little bit of Spanish. And that is it. And some sign language. Though very little. I never remember, like, barely any of it. But no, Spanish and English, like, the only two I'm, like, somewhat okay at. Spanish, if I spent a couple months, I could probably get it down completely. Like, I know a lot of the basics to Spanish and, like, phrases and other things. I just haven't really had much of a use to use it since high school. And not even because of classes, but also because, one of the places that I worked when I was in high school, actually had some people at the workplace that spoke Spanish. So I'd sometimes try to talk with them. At least enough to communicate for the job anyways. But I haven't used it in like 5 to 6 years now, so I forget like so many things. But if I like refresh myself on it, I'd probably be like decent at it again. I just really haven't had a need to use Spanish in recent times. Yeah, we got a verse 4? I think that was 4. Yeah, wall troops don't die to this team. One other team that you really have to look out for, or kingdoms that you have to look out for when you're doing various explore stuff, are all of the kingdoms that have the Doom. I forget what the 6 are off the top of my head, but there are 6 kingdoms that have a Doom in them, and you generally do not want to be doing these on Explore 12. Because they have a mean to insta-kill and devour, so as well as poison if you're going down that route. So, like, every insta-kill option you have cannot be used on them. Obviously, if you can't insta-kill them, you also can't poison insta-kill them. But, yeah, they have that one trait that has immune to insta-kill and devour. And you can't curse it either because they have immune to curse as well. I forget all of them. It's like, Blighted Lands, not Frostfire Keep, I mean Glacial Peak. Gosh, why do I forget the rest of them? There's like 6 of them. Does Slay work on them? No. Slay counts as insta-kill. Oh, I saw a little bit of lag. I thought they fixed it. They didn't fix it. Maybe it's a slight improvement, but it's not fixed. Hello, Logic Slayer. Welcome. Yeah, we have a new, we should have Broken Spire in 1 week from today. The Broken Spire faction. And it is technically the last faction in the game, though we're probably still going to get more into the future. But at least for current purposes, it'll be the last one. And I'm curious to see what they do for it lore-wise, if they're even going to do anything lore-wise. Because there is a lore reason as to why it's last, and I'm curious if they're actually going to do it in the storyline. Even though it's technically not last, and because of that, maybe they won't. Because it's not going to be the last faction that ever gets added. But it'll be the last of the current group of factions. Until we get another kingdom, of course. Because, of course, every new kingdom's likely going to get a new faction as well. I really hate that you can't use controller there. Like, if I mash A on that screen, it doesn't actually do the input. It does on consoles, but it doesn't on PC for whatever reason. Hello, George. Welcome. Also, we're getting pretty lucky not finding Soul Gnome. Soul Gnome can actually survive this if he's epic or above rarity. It's one of the reasons why I don't normally use this one. However, we've gotten pretty lucky and seen 0 Soul Gnomes. We've actually... Oh, we got a Vault Key. Oh yeah, I'm not keeping track of Vault Keys this time. A lot of times lately I haven't really been keeping track of total Vault Keys. I feel like it just takes up a lot of time. Oh, the number's also getting so big that it's becoming irrelevant if it gets slightly bigger. Also, you can kind of gauge about how much progress you got based on what your pity is currently at. Because pity is a good determination of the approximate amount that you've gotten. Because while things can vary, if you're at like pity 35 or something, you can kind of like guesstimate the approximate amount of loot that you would have gotten. Based on how far you reached in pity. Hello, welcome, welcome. Also, we'll be handing out 2 redeem codes this stream, by the way. The one that we normally do, as well as one at level 1,700. Because I did say earlier when we hit 1,700, we would give out an extra code. So we will indeed do that. Which reminds me, I need to go get more codes. Need to go do that. Hello, Igors. Welcome. But yeah, how many PD keys have you guys gotten today? I haven't really started grinding much yet, so we're still at like almost none. I'm not even sure what my average normally is these days. I want to say 30-ish. It depends if we're doing a lot of Palooza or not. Because obviously Palooza, doing just straight Paloozas or just farming like this gives quite a different rate. But one nice thing about what we're currently doing is we get verses. We've already gotten 2. Unfortunately, not the 2 we needed. Actually, I think we got 3 because we saw the other guy too. So we've gotten 3 verses already. Unfortunately, all 3 of the ones we don't need. I need verse 2 and we got everything but verse 2. $28 or $29, nice. But yeah, it looks like the game is still lagging. Oh yeah, how have you guys been experiencing the new not lag screen, supposedly? Because supposedly they made it better to load back into that map screen thing. Has anyone seen it be noticeable today? From what I could tell, it's definitely not fully fixed, but it seems to be maybe slightly better. Because we are at the point where it would normally start lagging like crazy, and while it's showing some amount of lag, it doesn't seem as bad. Like, the lag duration, while there, is a lot shorter than it would normally be. We haven't seen, like, a super lag yet. Oh, that was a little bit of a longer lag. I jinxed it. Yeah, it still seems kind of laggy there. And the text still breaks as well. Yeah, from a hardware side, we generally don't have much lag. so it's mostly just the game itself. It's definitely still getting hung up on that screen though. Like, it's really noticeable still. But it's never gotten like a super long duration where it does it for like 5 seconds sometimes. Where it just hangs on like that black screen kind of thing. Like, not literally on the black screen, but you know. Like, you can't click anything and it's showing like that right there. Like, sometimes it hangs there for 5 seconds and we haven't seen it go longer than like a second or two. Oh no, Mythic. I cannot one-shot you. That's the only bad thing about this team. Does not deal with that well. I don't know, let me in. Let me in. Give me that chest. Anything good? Just a token of guard. Give me that. And we're good to go. I know, I haven't seen any curse gnomes for a while. It's been like a week since I've seen a curse gnome. So once we do this for about 5 to 10 more minutes just to test how laggy it is, we'll probably go to restart and go to Palooza. I still want to restart just to make sure we reset any lag. Because that's still a thing. You've only seen them on Noble Paloozas. Well, you can still do the holding strategy, where you get a one near the end and then just wait it out once you hit like the last few minutes or so. Luckily, I already got all my curse gnome grinding done, so seeing them is nice. However, it's not really required for us to see them. Do we beta test the game? We have in the past. I haven't for about 1.5 to 2 years now, though. I want to say almost 2 years now. I haven't bothered doing the beta test thing. When's the new kingdom coming? I have no clue. I know the new faction's coming next Friday, a week from today. But new kingdom, I have no clue. I'd assume sometime in the next few months. Oh yeah, I forgot. We got those new troops. Those 2 Cinemirage troops that came in the other week. I kind of forgot they belonged to Cinemirage. Luckily, both of them have a durability that's low enough that you can still do Cinemirage properly. But I kind of forgot about them. I'm not sure why that legend made me reminded, because we've seen the epic like 6 times already. And I didn't make any mention of it. But for some reason, seeing the legend made me remember that they're both here now. Though they make no difference because they both die just the same. Luckily, neither of them has 21 durability. That would have been so awful if one of them had exactly 21 durability. Like the legend or something. Also, we've gotten 4 verses. Not a single one is verse 2, which is extremely unfortunate. Because it's basically the only verse that matters. But yeah, there's the other guy. Or there he was, I should say. But I don't know, honestly, it does seem like they fixed the lag slightly. Because normally by now we'd be seeing some pretty bad lag. And while it's there, it's definitely not like super bad. It's not completely fixed, but it's definitely not as bad as I remember. Like, when it freezes like that for like 4 or 5 seconds is when we have a problem. Like, 4 or 5 seconds is almost like an entire battle. But how quick these things go. Also, we're so close to that level. I almost want to get that level before Palooza. That way we need a Palooza soon, so we get to so we don't get a level up during the Palooza. Ideally. think we're gonna run a Palooza soon. Probably go through like one more cycle and then switch over. Oh, I do need to make sure I switch the team though. Because this team cannot run Palooza. It can only run diverse farming. And the main reason for that is the Soul Gnome's going to start appearing like every few battles, and the Soul Gnome has enough to outlive us. Alright, let me switch my team. Let's restart the game and then do our first Noma Palooza. We'll be doing quite a bit more Paloozas this weekend compared to normal. The main reason I haven't in the last few is because of the Cursed Gnome thing. Alright, now that we have everything reset, I don't need any of that, do I? No. Alright, so let's go reset. Restart the game real quick. And then let's go and... let's see, grab that. There we go. Move that over. And let's go do a Palooza. Okay. So let's go to... let's move the map. Go to games, go to Soulforge, go to other, figure out where on earth it is. Gosh, there's so many things in other now. There's almost like 100 things here now. And we actually have 38 Paloozas. That's a pretty sizable number. Though some people have like hundreds. For us, it's a sizable number. And the reason we have to do this team is there's just a lot of things that are going to out-durability us. Whenever a Soul Gnome appears as epic or above, it has over 20 durability. And he'll be doing that quite often, since there's 4 gnomes per battle. Though he hasn't done it yet. That does happen at enough of a frequency that you don't want to use the other team. Also, technically it doesn't matter what kingdom I go to when I do this. I just always click Center Mirage. Like right there, he has 23 durability because he replaced a legend, which means the other team would not have killed in one shot. Oh no, they technically buffed the Iron Gut team in the most recent patch, 6.15. Because if they did do any amount of fix for that screen, that is technically a buff to Ironhawk. Because it's one of only a few teams in the entire game that even wins quick enough to start to lag the game like that. I can't really tell if there's been much of an improvement on it though. Like, it seems like there slightly is, but it's hard to tell. Like, it's definitely still hanging up there some. But maybe it's improved compared to before. We haven't seen any, like, super long lag, if nothing else. At least not yet. But it's still hanging up there for, like, a second or two sometimes. Oh, did I say Iron Gut? I meant Ironhawk. Why do I not use the 3 dust level for this? Because some of them have higher durability. If a Soul Gnome appears in Epic or above, right there it showed as Epic, it has 21 or higher durability. And because of that, you can't use triple Ironhawk, you have to use double. When you're doing versus, you could do it the other way. Because the chance that you're going to find a Soul Gnome on a given battle that's epic or above is a lot less of a chance. However, when you're doing Palooza, you kind of have to use this team, or a similar one. Because you can't use the triple one because 20 damage is not enough to kill it pretty frequently. Like 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 battles or so, you will not be able to one-shot. This isn't as big a deal when you're doing versus though. Because it's more like 1 every 50 battles or so you won't be able to one-shot. But when you're doing a Palooza, it's a lot more frequent due to all 4 of them being a gnome. Like right there, he's 21 durability. And whenever the 20 damage doesn't kill, it slows the team down by a lot. Like doubles or triples the duration of the battle. And unfortunately, you can't see what team you have beforehand. And even if you did, it probably wouldn't be worth switching back and forth. Like, even in pet battles, those 8 pet battles, it is technically always efficient to switch between 2 different teams. However, the duration it takes to switch between 2 different teams every single time, because it saves whatever your most recent team was, and then that means you would have to switch back every single time, it's just not worth it. Unless you keep, like, literally both your teams on, like a spreadsheet thing that you can easily copy-paste. Or if there's some kind of way to use 2 different paste functions. I'm not sure if you can. Where you can use like 2 different paste inputs. I think you can on mobile. I'm not sure if there's a way to do it on PC. I assume there is. I just always use whatever the last paste thingy was. But I'm pretty sure there's a way to queue multiple different pastes. Not sure how. Because technically, when you're doing pet battles, most teams want to run like a different one for the first 5 or 6, and then a different one for the last 2 or 3. Because whatever you use to quick kill the first 5 or 6 doesn't kill the last few as quickly. But most people just use the same team for all 8. Speaking of which, do we have a pet active right now? I didn't even bother checking. I just kind of assume when the vault event's going, we just perpetually always have a pet active. That's not always the case. How many curse gnomes have you killed for an event? So far, I haven't gotten any. Normally, per Palooza, you'll find around 2 to 3 or so. Or 2 to 4. I can definitely find a few every single time. So far, I don't think we've seen one yet, though. All their increased rate has been completely removed, though. So maybe it is a bit lower than that. Like that 50% extra that we had a little while back, as well as like that super buff that one day during that one vault event, plus the other buff that was occurring. But currently there is no buff to curse gnomes whatsoever. Aside from the fact that gnomes are appearing more often. But they don't have anything artificially making them even more common, like we have had for the last vault event or 2. Yeah, there was a 50% buff for like 2 weeks. It actually ended pretty much the exact day I got back from vacation. When we got back and did that one stream. Like, it pretty much ended then, that 50% extra buff. But yeah, we haven't seen a single one so far. Though we also only been going for half an hour. But we have found 0 of them. I don't really need them, though. It's the reason why I got all the grind done when we had the buff. I just wanted to be done with it so we don't need to ever worry about actually seeing them. So if we see it, it's fine. If we don't, it's also fine. Like, we're not actively trying to find cursed gnomes. The main thing we really want to find are epic vault keys and vault keys in general. And that's pretty much it. Like, those are the 2 main things. While also just getting the accumulation of all the resources. But this is an instance where vault key and epic vault key are probably our primary goals. I still find it amazing how much more vault keys they've added into the game. Like, way back in the day, having like a few dozen during an event, or 100 total, is like, ooh, that's a lot of vault keys. And now it's like, oh, 1,000 per an event is like doable now. It's quite literally possible to get 1,000 in a single weekend. You'd have to grind a lot, but it is possible. I saw some lag there. You just found your first cursed gnome outside of a Palooza, and you've been playing for 5+ hours today. Oh gosh. Oh, did they? Do we know yet if they fixed the vault key issue? Can anyone confirm? I'm not sure if they mentioned on the forum or somewheres. Does anyone know if they have confirmed, or if people have confirmed that there is definitely no vault key in their drop table now, or have they still not fixed the vault key issue? Because that was supposed to be fixed the last vault event, and it wasn't. Though I'm curious if it's fixed this time around. Because supposedly they were supposed to make it so cursed gnomes will no longer drop vault keys. They will always drop the cursed shard things. Or the cursed runes, I mean. And I would assume by now that that would have been fixed. Especially since we got a mini patch. It wasn't mentioned in the mini patch though. Oh no. That was one of those bigger lag screens. So we just got 4 normal gnomes. Oh, never mind. That one was a soul gnome. Yeah, I would assume they fixed it by now. But you never know sometimes. They've announced on many occasions that they said they fixed something and then find out that, nope, nothing has changed. Speaking of which, weren't they supposed to fix that lag screen? Yeah, we actually got a verse now. We still have not seen a single verse 2. We're at like 6 or 7 verses now, and not a single one is 2. We're doing pretty good on verse gnomes this hour. If you don't do Palooza and you just farm Explorer, you can find about 6 to 12 per hour or so. Which is generally going to be about 1 or 2 Paloozas. As long as you don't keep rolling the same ones like we have been. Leaving us dry on a single specific one. Currently verse 2. I really wish you could craft a specific verse. Would be very convenient. Even if it was pretty expensive to do so, it'd still be kind of worth it. They never compensated us for the broken drop pool. Oh yeah, and they never did. They did give 200 gems recently for the broken Guild Wars. Which is kind of convenient given that Guild Wars is next week. Oh no, a double load screen? Oh, that's super lag. Yeah, they didn't fix lag. That's a good sign you're starting to lag too much. Oh, that was like a 3-second load. But whenever this loading bar goes like twice, that's when we know we're lagging. Because normally we load before that loading bar even goes all the way. It just always does the animation even if you're fully loaded already. Only one that does it twice or you're not actually loaded yet. Yeah, this Nova Palooza is almost coming out on time, and we haven't gotten a single curse gnome. That reminds me, I don't have a timer up. I wasn't really going to stall it anyways, but still. I'm not even sure if I want to stall the curse gnome, because I really don't need more curse shards. I mean curse runes. We made sure to get all the grind done while they were buffed, so we wouldn't ever have to worry about them again. Because I had a feeling they'd be super annoying to get into the future. Hey, double Valky, nice. And that seems to be the case. Hey, found one! There he is. Okay, first one. It took us like a little over half an hour, but we found him. He gave us one. He gave us one singular curse shard, but we found him. One singular shard. It's more than 0. They really should do something about his drop rate, though. I don't understand why he's rarer than the others. It would have made more sense to just make him the same rarity and just make all the shard costs accordingly. There we go. Oh, we could have stalled him. Oh, it was one battle off. It's not too big a deal, though. Gosh, we just hopped from like 1 pity to 10 pity just from doing a single Palooza. Anyways, let me go reset the game. To reset the lag. And then we'll do some normal grinds. Actually, I don't know. I might just go do another Palooza. Also, let me go bring up timer. I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother using it. But I want to have it because we could have actually gotten like a few more shards there if we would have just waited. I'm not going to like try to do it necessarily. But if we're going to have that close of an instance like that, I might as well do it. Because there will be some instances where we can get more loot from it. It doesn't take much to be able to go and make sure we know what the time is. There we go. Okay, let's go run another. Oh, I should probably go get a level first, though. Otherwise, we're going to gain a level midway through Palooza. So, new plan. We're not going to use that timer. Let's go and... Well, we're still going to keep it up there for now, though. But, let's just go do some normal grinding until we get a level. And then after we get a level, we'll go do Palooza. If I can figure out where my team is, there it is. I never did show that message that I was talking about earlier. I'm pretty sure most of you guys saw it earlier, though. But they gave us a 200 gem compensation with this message. Guild War compensation. Hello, adventurers. Back in December, there was a Guild Wars event where some players were not receiving the bonus score from their defense teams. We have fixed this issue. For future Guild Wars, please have these gems as compensation for the issue. 200 gems. Yeah, they sent 200 gems out. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that earlier already. By this point. But that was the message I was referring to earlier. Alright, so let's keep doing normal team until we hit level, and then we'll go do Palooza again. Also, we'll hand out a code as soon as we hit level 1,700. Which is soon. As soon as we do, we'll go do Palooza. And we'll have one more code a little bit later to stream as well after that one. That's more so the hit level 1,700 code. Also, we actually get a stat then as well. One of the last few stats we're ever going to get for Hero. Because we get one at 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, and 2,000. So what is that then? 4? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4. I'm missing 4 stats. Technically 3 because we're about to have the one of them. And then you don't get the next one until like 3,000. All 0 people that currently have that because hitting level 3,000 is like near impossible. It's theoretically possible. The amount of grind time is just so high that you can assume it doesn't exist. Level 2,000 for all intents and purposes is basically max level. Even though it technically keeps still ticking up. Is there a benefit to using Sister Superior instead of Greed? Main reason is because it's quicker. Greed gives you a little bit of gold, but Greed has that one explosion thingy, as Hung mentions. I used to use the Greed build, but if you're looking just purely for speed, which these days is the main focus for me, it's kind of better to do it this way. The other nice in-between method is just using a Phoenicia team. However, this technically almost does the same amount of trophies as a Phoenicia. Mostly because Phoenicia takes like 20-ish seconds or so. Whereas this technically can actually win in 10 seconds if you do it optimally. This team is capable of winning 6 times per minute. Actually, I can time it out right now. Oh, I didn't click the button. Wait, I clicked the button and it didn't do anything. Hold up. Why is my timer not working? Wait, why is my timer not working? My timer's frozen. Hold up. 1 second. I somehow broke my timer without even using it. 1 moment. It's broken. Alright, now it's not broken. That was weird. It was just broken there for a moment. That can kind of show that it wins like 6 times per minute. Approximately. It can definitely... It's like 5.5 to 6. It depends how quick you go. It depends heavily on inputs. And if the game wants to lag some. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Five. 6 in a minute. And we're right back where we were. So that was like 58 seconds to do 6. He's ended that timer a little bit late compared to where we were on the other thing. But yeah, as you can see, you can do 6 within a minute. Whereas Phoenicia is about 20 seconds per battle, which is like 3 per minute. Approximately, though sometimes it can go a little slower. But yeah, Rowan and Phoenicia are both about 3 per minute or so. Sometimes a little bit closer to 4, depends. It's like 3 to 4 per minute or so. Whereas this is 6 per minute. At least when doing it optimally anyways. It can be a little bit slower otherwise. But so can the other teams. How many codes are there today? 2. We're handing out one when we hit 1,700. We're handing out another one at some point. I have no clue when. But at some point this stream will have a second. And the first one we should have very soon. As soon as we hit that level. And I'm trying to get the level before we go back to a Palooza, just so it doesn't slow us down in the next Palooza. And also so we can hand out the code without having to worry about the timer. Because obviously if we hit the level up during a Palooza, we wouldn't be able to stop to give out a code. We'd have to keep doing the Palooza until it ends. So I want to get it out of the way first. You haven't seen the 200 gems compensation yet? That's weird. If you don't see it the next day, definitely send a support ticket in. I assume consoles got it as well. I am on the PC mobile version, but I assume all platforms got it. It could just be that the console ones are rolling out a bit later. I don't know, has anyone on a console gotten the 200 gem compensation yet for the Guild Wars being broken? With the little message in the mailbox? PC Mobile definitely has. I just kind of assumed all platforms would. Or maybe it just didn't roll it out yet, because I'm pretty sure all platforms had the problem, not just PC Mobile. Because it was a server-based issue. So every platform should have had the issue. PlayStation got theirs last night? Okay, so maybe just Xbox didn't get it then? That's weird. Maybe they forgot to send it to Xbox. I wouldn't put it beyond them to completely forget to send it to a specific platform. I wouldn't be surprised if they forgot the Switch as well. I wish the Switch version was better. I was really hoping we could, like, stream off the Switch version and everything. But because it doesn't have cross-platform and it's so far behind, we just, like, barely played it. I played it for, like, the first month or two and then, like, never touched it again. Though it definitely probably has the most casual player base of any location, if nothing else. I wouldn't be surprised if we did like a few PvP battles and our rating was like top 1000 already. Because in something like Gems of War on PC Mobile, if you do barely any PvP, you're going to be at like 50,000 something, if not higher. Because of how many people there are. Like right now with 874, which is not the lowest you can have, but we're at 36,000. The number would be a lot lower if we were at like 600 or something. Yep, 36,000. Last I recall, there should be at least like 100,000 people playing across all platforms every month. The number has been pretty consistent for the game. Roughly about 100,000 players per week. Give or take several tens of thousands. Like, that number can go as high as like 60, 70,000 sometimes. I'm not sure what it has been recently though. I know it still reaches at least like 40, 50,000 on PC Mobile. Only reason this says 30-something thousand is because we're about 300 points above doing no PvP. You've taken 2 naps since reset. Naps and then Palooza. We're so close to love. Also, how on earth have we not hit verse 2? We've been going almost an hour. We've gotten like 8 or 9 verses. Not a single one is verse 2, the one we actually need. That's so unfortunate. It just really doesn't want to give it to us. I just realized, what's happening in Gems of War 2 weeks from now? Because there's a game coming out that we're probably going to be streaming that day, that night. So I'm curious what's happening during the day then. It's not a new faction, so we're not missing the really important day then. What actually is? Oh yeah, we gained a level, by the way. I should probably go hand out that code. I'll do it 1 second. I just want to check what's happening 2 Fridays from now. Okay, I'm looking for weekly events. What's happening on the 28th? The 28th is Bounty Hunter. Oh, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, we're missing Bounty Hunter. Yay. Okay, that's fine. We're still doing Bounty Hunter, obviously, but... because the new Pokemon game's coming out that day. And it actually looks not horrible. I was skeptical of it initially, but honestly, it's looking to be pretty decent. We're probably playing that on launch night, which would be midnight on the 27th, which is the 28th. Oh yeah, let me go hand out the code. I forgot. Hold up. We gained our level. We can actually go switch to Palooza too. So 2 things I need to go do. Let me go restart the game. Just to reset our lag just in case. It wants to be laggy. Negate any amount of lag for a Palooza. Alright, so have that rolling. While that's restarting, let me go hand out the code. And then we'll go and do a Palooza. We'll have another code a little bit later during the stream. Not sure how long we're going to be going for tonight, but definitely want to get some amount of grind in, that's for sure. Let's see. Let me go get you guys this code. Hey, the first code, and we'll have another one in a little bit. We finally did it, level 1,700. Oh yeah, I didn't pay attention. What stat did we get? Oh, I was spam clicking so quick I didn't even notice what stat it was for 1,700. Hold up, I need to go look back in the stream. I kind of want to see. 1 second. I want to see what stat this was. It was... that's where the level happened. Armor! I knew it! All we got was +1 armor. No! Luckily, I believe the next 3 are HP, attack, and magic. I believe in that order as well. Because I know magic's at 2,000 if I'm not mistaken. Wait, was it magic? Oh, hold up. I'm pretty sure 2,000 was magic. So I'm pretty sure we get HP, attack, and magic now. For the next 3 levels. But yeah, the goal for 2022. Let's see if we can hit level 1,800. I'm not sure if we can. Gosh, the levels are starting to take so long to get these days. Oh yeah, here's the redeem code. Same thing as always, 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. Definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps a lot and is greatly appreciated. There you guys go. Enjoy! And the other thing was for a level up bonus, of course. Which is kind of a pitiful amount of loot these days, but a little bit of event key and glory. It adds up. Anyways, let's go do a Palooza now. Oh, let me make sure I'm using the right team, though. Let me make sure to use it once. I don't believe I actually have to use about all of it in order for it to set. However, I want to do it just in case. So it doesn't waste time when we start a Palooza. Yeah, let's go start Palooza. Also, I will start the timer just in case. Because we could have gotten some extra shards there on the other one. And there's still some instances, like when you see a lot of glory gnomes or something, where you might want to do it. Because the amount of extra loot actually is kind of substantial. If you have the right gnomes active. Because I'm not necessarily going to do it on cursed gnomes. We can still do it on other gnomes as well for pretty good value. I believe it occurs when I click, not when I click off. Oh, no. Hold up. As soon as I click yes right here, it starts. Is that allowed gen key? How often do I check my Discord? That's a good question. Pretty much whenever. I definitely don't use Discord too often. I do check it at least like a few times a week normally, though. But very rarely overall. A lot of social areas I don't really tend to check that often. You're level 1,784 already? I know, you've been going so quick. You're probably going to reach level 2,000 before we even hit 1,800. Also, I'm not mistaken, aren't you the highest level in the guild now, too? Actually, you probably have been since you passed me. Because we were for the longest time, and then you passed me, and then I'm pretty sure you've just been perpetually since then. The highest level in the guild. Those Ring of Wonders. Oh yeah, Isabel, do you use Ring of Wonder? I've only ever gotten it once, and it was when the Switch version was released. Just so the first month we could power farm like crazy on the Switch version. Oh, the reason why we're able to do this so quick is because of controller. We're using a combination of mouse and controller. No, macros get banned in this game. However, you can use valid input devices, and this is currently a mouse plus keyboard. I mean, a mouse plus controller. We're basically just spam clicking A on the controller with a Joy-Con. You could use any controller though. A Joy-Con is just a nice one-handed controller, so it works out pretty fine and nice because you're using your other hand on mouse. So one-handed controllers are optimal, though not required. But any controller with an A input or, you know, confirm input will work. And we're just doing it to go through some of the menus that just work with a confirm, which is mostly casting and all this menuing. You basically spam click of a button and it goes through the whole thing. But yeah, don't use macros or anything. I'm pretty sure they still banned for that. But something like a controller you can use because it's a valid input device for the game. So we're just using mouse with one hand and a one-handed controller in the other. Specifically a Nintendo Joy-Con, though any would work. Yeah, Ring of Wonder's value is a little bit weird. Because it being worth it depends on how much you farm. I believe you would have to farm for about... I want to say 100 hours within a month for it to be worth it. Like 100 or more hours. I'm not sure the exact point where it's like really worth it. And also it's kind of subjective at that point, but I would say probably if you're planning on playing like over 100 hours in a given month, and you just really want it for a little bit of a boost, it could be okay value. Because it's one of those things where you have to play a bunch for it to really be worth it. It's also not too big of a bonus. It's just 50% to XP, gold, and souls. And when you're doing farming like this, you're not really getting much gold or souls. You're getting a lot of XP, though. This is actually the quickest rate of getting XP in the game. Well, technically the triple Ironhawk one is. But this is still pretty decent pacing. This is actually technically slower than the other one, not just because you have to cast twice, but because we're doing it during a Palooza. It's more like 5 wins per minute instead of 6 like the other one was. And the main reason for that is you have to wait for the 4 gnomes to appear, which does their little animation, which wastes time. But also because you have to cast twice instead of once. Also, I wish they would have a timer on screen. You know, like the one that we have right now. It's kind of weird that the game doesn't naturally have one. Also, I just noticed the amount of lag we have this stream is actually less than normal. Has anyone noticed that? I normally don't keep track of the exact amount of input lag that's on my stream. But it's easy to tell when there's a timer. And currently there is about 6 seconds of input lag. Or not input lag, but, you know, as in a delay between what I'm doing and what you guys are saying. Which actually isn't that bad. Normally it's closer to like 10 seconds. Though I'm also basing that off of my laggy computer. That's the one I see the stream preview thingy on. Oh, why am I clicking manually? Whoops. You always use vault keys on the lowest level, just for the sake of speed. Are you missing on anything other than extra gold? Yes. It increases the amount of everything. I would advise only doing them on max, even if it takes a little bit longer. Because it also affects how many keys you get. It also affects how many gems you get. It also affects, like, basically any number higher than 1, it affects how much you get. At least for the case of vault keys, how they are concerned. Because it actually increases the rate of everything. So you normally want to do it on max difficulty, even though it might take a little bit longer. Because it boosts something like the 100 gem drop up to 120. It boosts the 250 up to 300. It boosts the, compared to doing it at normal difficulty. It boosts the, and of course doing the lower difficulty would make it 20% lower instead of 20% higher. It makes the, like 20 gem key into a, 24 and stuff like that. However, all of the drops that only drop 1, it does still give you the full normal drop. So for example, if you get like a copy of a troop or a common, it just still gives you 1, regardless of difficulty. If you get an orb, it'll still just give you 1, regardless of difficulty. But you normally want to do it on max so that the gems, the keys, and other things still give you more. Even if it takes twice as long, it's probably worth it for the 20% extra. Assuming you have the capability to kill it. Some people might be at the point in the game where they can't. I'm pretty sure most people can. Like, it might be a bit more time consuming too. Especially at what point in the game you're in. But it's still a relatively weak battle overall. Like, Mang with a brown hero class is like already enough to kill it. Or, you know, like barrier on brown. Obviously, you normally don't want to use that team. That was like the cheapest team that could get away with it. And that's pretty accessible pretty early on in the game. Oh yeah, an epic vault key should always be done on max. I feel like normal vault keys should be as well, even if it takes twice as long. Hey, speaking of epic vault keys. Which, is that the first epic vault key we've gotten all stream? Kind of feels like it. Unless I haven't noticed the other ones. I just realized we got our +1 armor just in time for Guild Wars as well, because Guild Wars is next week. We've actually gotten a few extra stats since then, because a couple kingdoms have hit level 20 as well since then. I forget the full list, but there were a few that increased in stars since then. Not to mention, Broken Spire next Friday actually gets another star, if I'm not mistaken. Or definitely gets another star, but I mean another stat. I think it's either HP or armor. Can't remember which. The main thing that always makes me confused is they actually have adjusted what bonus a couple kingdoms have in the past, which just completely threw me off on quite a few of them. Because some of them have had their bonus changed once. Which makes it really confusing as to which bonus they currently have. Because they've done a couple waves of changing what bonus each kingdom has. I don't think they've ever changed where the magic kingdoms are. But attack HP and armor has been shuffled around a few times. Also, I believe they made something into a magic kingdom that wasn't originally a magic kingdom. Oh yeah, of course. It's going to be getting like 4 stars, Broken Spire, most likely, on Friday. But what I meant to say is I think it reaches 20 plus for a stat. which is the most relevant star, the 20th one. Well, technically the 10th one as well. But all kingdoms are past the point of reaching their 10th. Even Nexus already is past its 10th. I think it's at like 11 or something. However, free-to-play still doesn't have access to that yet? I can't remember. Are the Nexus troops even in Drop Table right now? I wasn't even paying attention when I was opening for the Mythic at the beginning of this month. The Mythic for next month definitely should. Almost guaranteed. If it isn't already. Like the chance to get the new Nexus troops. The ones that weren't in the Drop Table for the thing earlier. Like, you know, the that one brown-red that does true damage. I can't remember his name. And those other things that were kind of like slightly money locked. Like the two of them that you only get like one copy of. Like those should be in the Drop Table pretty soon if they're not already. Oh wait, does Broken Spire have an event after its faction? That's kind of funny. That means we're probably going to have double the faction soon. Was Zolkiri the one that was changed? I believe it was Silverglade, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But yeah, Zolkiri is the only one that uses green instead of purple. Is the first thing that you should do with your green deeds is get that thing to 15 star. Or 15 level, I mean. Because generally, the way that you deed your kingdoms is you get them all, obviously, to level 10. That just is the gold-related stuff. But as far as the deeds, after you get them all to level 10, you want to get all the magic kingdoms, all 5 of them, to level 15. And then you want to get the rest to 15. And then you start doing them to 16 based on which ones you need for kingdom stars. And then you never get a single one to 17 or above. You'd have to get every kingdom to level 16 before you do 17 upwards. Oh yeah, one of the next few battles we can stall. This one actually would be worth doing. It's a double glory gnome. I'm doing on one of the next two though, ideally. So we can get a little bit more loot here. Okay, we can... If this battle is not super good loot, we'll do one more. That's good enough. I'll wait it out. I think we could have gotten one more battle in, but I'll wait the timer out. Yeah, that should be enough of a wait. And there we go. That just gives us the full amount of souls and glory and all that. And that full amount of double trait stone instead of one. There we go. Yeah, even if we're not using it for Cursed Gnome, we can still use it to make sure we guarantee get full loot from one of those things. If nothing else. Yeah, we're at 14 pity. I guess we'll go through another one, just for the sake of it. I don't think we're really lagging much yet. But I do like resetting the game just in case. Just to make sure that there's absolutely none. Alright, okay, so this is just the mail blinking with that, which I always check like a billion times. But anyways, let's go, and oh yeah, they also have this thing going on. I would not advise getting any of it, it's not really worth it. That's too overpriced for a single vault key. Gnome bait is so absurdly overpriced. And epic vault keys are so easy to get these days. You can get it, if you get lucky enough, you can get 2 within a single Palooza within 15 minutes. So you're basically just paying for the gems. So I would skip on all this. None of it's really worth it. They've done much better offers for vault keys in the past. Especially during like holidays is when they normally do the bundles of them. So if you're going to bother buying them, you might as well wait to the holidays then. Gnome bait's never worth it. There's not a single instance of buying gnome bait that is worth getting. And epic vault keys are just overpriced relative to the fact that they're not too hard to get in the current state of the game. Like the only instance where vault keys are handed out that's somewhat okay value, which you might as well do if you even want to bother getting that, is just get the extended pass. Because if you're already doing the normal one for 10, for 25 you get 2 epic vault keys and a power orb. Mostly a power orb, but you also get 2 epic vault keys there. Which seems like such absurdly bad value here. Because for $25 you get the entire pass. And for this it's just that. So it's like so bad value in comparison. Because if you actually wanted those, you could just buy the extended pass instead. And just wait until the end of the season, and then boom, you get 2 epic vault keys. Assuming you do it all, but most people... If you're bothering to buy the pass, you're probably already doing it all anyways. It doesn't take that long either. Like, the campaign in total, I would say takes, like, what? There's 10 weeks of it. I would say it takes around 10 to 12 hours to do the entirety of the campaign. Probably closer to 12 hours. Like, it's about 1 hour every week, give or take, like, 10, 20, half an hour. Like, it's either anywhere from, like, 50 minutes or so to, like, an hour and a half. Normally to do the tasks. Can vary some though. But after like 12-ish hours over 10 weeks, you could get all the loot, which isn't that bad, time-wise. Like normally we just do it Monday night every single night, as we normally do. Anyways, let's go do a Palooza again. Palooza. Oh yeah, I still didn't do the daily thingies yet. I'll do that after this Palooza. I believe we had gems on Adventure Board too I didn't grab earlier. I did look at it, I just didn't bother taking it. I'm looking for Palooza. So we're not running low anytime soon. We could actually run Palooza for the rest of the week and it's still not run out of Paloozas, most likely. Still gonna farm some more though, just to make sure we don't dip too much. But we actually could just Palooza the entire weekend because 4 Paloozas can be used in an hour, roughly. Technically slightly less, but let's just assume 4. So at 4 per hour, if I wanted to keep 10 plus, that means I'd be able to do, what is that, 7. I'd be able to do about 7 Paloozas or so. So that's not too bad. Means we definitely get at least 1 more verse 2 in that time. Or 7 hours of Palooza, I mean, not 7 Paloozas. Obviously that's more than 7, it's 36. But we could do 7 hours of Paloozas while still having 10 extra. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. It's problematic. So that means the timer is actually behind, which means technically like 2 or 3 seconds beforehand. Because it's actually behind a few seconds then. You're going to use your curse runes to graft vault keys. Is it worth it to? Last time I recall, vault keys were not worth it. Last I recall, it's actually better value to do major orbs if you want to do something like that. Unless there's something really specific in the vault key drop table that you're looking for. Though I'd assume you had most of it. I can't remember what the full cost was for a vault key, but last I recall it was kind of questionable value. Did I get... Hey, another curse gnome. Also, surprisingly, I believe that's the second curse gnome we've seen this entire time, which is kind of sad. Also, I believe you dropped 2 shards there. Oh, I covered a video on what was the most optimal thingies earlier. With the 6.1 patch thing. But, I would say the best few are the major orbs, crafting them into those Fort Scrolls, if you want to get those Doom weapons upgraded. The small purple was surprisingly good, though at what point you were in the game, it's probably just better to go for major orbs. As well as the upgrading of the metals under some circumstances being worth it, depending on your situation. But last I recall, the vault keys themselves were not that good of value. Mostly because of how inconsistent a vault key's value is. And also basing it on the fact that the average value of a vault key is about 80 gems. Last I recall, the value breakdown of what you needed to craft a vault key was more than 80 gems by a substantial amount. I can go double check after though. There was something in there that made it not worth it though. I can't remember what. But I believe there was one cost that wasn't curse runes that made it not worth crafting a vault key. Because if the main bottleneck was just Curse Runes, I guess it would be okay value if you wanted more Vault Keys. But I'm pretty sure there was something else that made it not worth it. That wasn't the Curse Rune charge costs. It might have just been the amount of Celestials they ate. Because I think it takes like 5 Celestials or something. Because that means realistically, if you were to mass craft them, you would not even be able to get like 1 super weakened grind's worth of Vault Keys. If you converted every Celestial you had into Vault Keys. So if you look at it that way, it's pretty bad value. So maybe it was Celestials that was the main thing that was bad about it. Because that's such a high Celestial cost that you wouldn't even be able to craft 1,000, even if you had infinite Chaos Runes. Or Curse Runes, I mean. Speaking of which, I think we're at like 2,500 Vault Keys these days. Something absurd. There's some people probably with over 10,000 though. I would not doubt. Oh yeah, it's way quicker casting with Sister Superior. It gives you less gold, but if your only concern is speed, you want speed. Speed is nice. Mr. Z, that's funny. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a better option than her. She can technically actually be quicker. She does have a trait that slows her down, though it's not nearly as slow down as Greed. And it is Bless. The Blessed slows her down by like half a second to like 1/3 a second, which is a really minuscule amount of time. But when it goes through all the traits at the beginning, it slightly slows the rate at which it cycles through all the traits that trigger at the beginning of a game. So if we eventually get a troop that doesn't have a trait that triggers right at the beginning, it would actually be quicker to use that than her. But it would be very rare we're ever going to get something like that, because it would have to have Empower, a non-board control ability, while also having what's it called? Empower, non-board control, and it would need 2 traits as its other 2 traits that do not trigger anything at the start of battle. Currently she only has 1 that doesn't. There's one thing that's nice about her being a bounty troop is she doesn't actually trigger it because it's not bounty. I just realized Medal of Anu actually slows you down at the beginning. I should probably go switch that off then. I never realized Medal of Anu has its own thing that triggers there. I don't think it's making that big a difference. But that's like wasting milliseconds. I should probably go remove it. But yeah, all medals trigger at start of battle. However, all the stat-related ones do not trigger an animation. The only two that have an animation are Orpheus and Metal Vanu. Also, Metal Vanu is the, or sorry, Orpheus is the only one that can be stunned, because all the other ones trigger at the start of battle. Which is why Metal Vanu triggers like that. Gosh, we got a lot more spam bots today. They're a lot extra spammier today. Maybe they knew it was a Volt event, so they're like, oh, we gotta go spam them for the Volt event. The bots knew. So we'll have another redeem code in a little bit. So I'm not sure what we should hand it out based on. Maybe on next Epic Volkey. How about that? Next Epic Volkey we find, we'll hand out code. Though after the Palooza it's done. Because obviously can't do it during. Unfortunately, I could not see that screen. We got through it so quick. Hey, well, we got an epic. Okay, well, I'll hand out a code in 5 minutes. That didn't take long. Found it. Found the epic Volkey. Normally you get about 1 or 2 per Palooza, though it is possible to hit 0 and do multiple Paloozas in a row that all have 0. But normally you average like 1 per Palooza if you account for all the 0s and all the 2s. And also, of course, that's specifically when there's a Vault event, obviously. You should only ever do Palooza when it's a Vault event. That's why you never see me doing Palooza at any other point. And the main reason for this is because the increased Volkey chances for both normal and epic Volkey. Which makes it substantially better to be doing it during a Vault event. Like, we literally just got a Volkey like 3 times in a row, an epic into a normal. Oh, so the way that epic Volkeys work is every time you get a Volkey drop, there's a 10% chance that Volkey will be an epic Volkey instead. So every Volkey you see is a you not getting an epic Volkey 90% of the time. Because they share the same drop table of Volkey drop, but then when you get a Volkey drop, it's 90% normal and 10% epic. Assuming it's still the same rate. I could have tweaked it since then, but that's what the rate used to be, and I assume it still is. Is when you get a Volkey drop, it's either 90% normal or 10% epic. Meaning approximately 1 in 10 Volkey should be an epic Volkey, not counting pity. Though of course it is possible to get lucky or unlucky. Also, Isabel did the snack things earlier. Yes, I do have snacks and drinks. Well, maybe not snacks, but I did bring drinks. Not sure how much longer we'll be going for, though. Definitely want to go at least half an hour or more. I want to try getting some off-stream grind in as well. Who knows, maybe we'll even just throw in a random midday one at some point if I feel like actually doing it on stream. It's just a lot easier doing it between other stuff, rather than doing it all in one big bunch. Which obviously for a stream we would kind of have to do. Hey, Curse Gnome. If we really wanted a Curse Gnome, you'd want to stop right now and just hold it until the timer went up. However, I'm not overly interested in Curse Shards. I actually don't mind if I don't ever see him. Alright, let me go check the vault key thing you were talking about earlier, too. The last I recall, the value was kind of sketchy on it. Mostly because of how RNG-based a vault key is. Oh no, a lag. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is actually a couple seconds behind. Another curse gnome. This would also be a time you would hold if you wanted curse shards. If I see him one more time, I'm gonna hold it. It wasn't my intention to, but at this point, it's deep enough that if we somehow get another one, we'll hold him. At this point, I'm probably looking for glory gnomes more so. I'd rather hold like 3 glory gnomes than a curse gnome. That's pretty close. I prefer not to see an ingot gnome there though. Come on, like 3 glories with a curse or something. I'll hold this. Mostly because we started a timer a little bit later, so. I'm pretty sure we could have gotten like one more battle, but that's pretty solid. A glory with 2 souls. Because I do still need souls. Not like a really high amount of souls, but some amount of souls. It's a nice burst. On average, we get about 5,000 souls. At max, we could get 10,000. Yeah, we're definitely way above the point. Let's see. We got, 3,500. Oh gosh, they dropped the vault key too off the thing. And I didn't really care about Jewel Gnome. It just happened to be there. Oh, there we go. It's technically slightly better than the Ingot Gnome because at least Jewels still have a purpose. Whereas ingots don't convert into anything currently. At least not this late into the game anyways. Wait, let me go clear out dailies real quick. Still have not claimed these. Where's my Phoenicia team? Let's go clear these out. Wait, don't go back to some normal farming and then throw another Palooza after a little bit. Yeah, let me go check the stacks as well. I'm curious what our Volkey and Epic Volkey stacks are up to these days. Because that's the main thing we're farming this Vault event, as well as most Vault events in general. Now that we're done with Curse runes. We're mostly looking for Volkeys and Epic Volkeys. Eventually, I should probably start using some of them. We should actually probably start using them some this year. Like, maybe start throwing, like, down 10 per stream. And maybe if we get like one of the really, really good drops, we hand out a code. An extra one or something. Make it like a lottery system. If we get a major blue, a power, or the big gem drop, we hand out an extra big code. And we open like 10 every single stream and see what we get. We can try doing that. Because those are like the 3 drops I really want to see. Major blue, power, or 250 gems. As well as the gem key drop, but it's not. Oh no, its value is. Oh no, its value is kind of high. It's 24 gem keys. 24 times 9 is math. It's like 200 something. It's 216, I believe. Which isn't that bad. Technically, that's kind of like the... It's like a 250... Actually, technically a 250 gem drop's a 300 gem drop. But it's kind of like the big gem drop, but with less use case, since you have to use as gem keys. But I might start doing that. Not this weekend, though, because it's a Vol event weekend. But after that, I think we might... once we get more codes, if we can get more codes Monday, we might start trying to do that. We'd still have our 1 code per stream, but we'd hand out like an extra if we get a major blue, a power, or a 300 gem drop. which is the 250 increase. Because those are the 3 rare drops we're mostly looking for when we open a Vault game. There's a lot of other stuff that we kind of want, but those are like the ones we really want to see whenever we open a Vault game. I know, we've barely even touched our Volkey pile. I just need to start whittling it down, otherwise it's never going to move. Maybe we'll do like a dozen per day instead of 10. Get our dozen keys out every day. Because even at a dozen per day, it's going to take us so long to use how many we have. Like, I'll go do the math on it real quick. But the number is very big. Like, we're talking like more than half the year amount of time. If we use 12 every day for the rest of this year. Like, based on rate of accumulation, that might actually be enough to go all year. Because we currently have 2,118. So if we take that number and divide it by, divide that by, that's a minus. Divide that by 12. That comes out to 176 days. Which is technically more than 176 days. So that's half a year. So yeah, exactly what I mentioned. We could go half the year opening 12 per day. And that's not counting any that we'd accumulate within that time. So I might start doing that then. Because it's almost all year then. If you account for how many Vault keys we're going to be getting passively through everything. How many Vault keys would I have to farm in a Vault event to perpetuate? Let's assume each Vault event is exactly 6 weeks away. 6 weeks is 6 times 7. That's 42 days. So 42 days times 12. That means every Vault event, I would have to farm at least 504 Vault keys. And if we did that, we could infinitely open 12 per day forever. If a Vault event happens once every 6 weeks exactly, which is normally its scheduling time, though it's been happening a little bit more often recently, you would have to farm 504 Vault keys per Vault event to open 12 per day. Interesting. So yeah, we might start opening 12 per day then. For the rest of time. Though I don't always farm 500 for every Vault event. Not sure how many we farmed this time around. I feel like normally we farm about a few hundred. But anyways, yeah, we'll start doing that. Starting on Monday. Anyways, where were we? Oh yeah, I was gonna go check the value of the thing. But last I recall, crafting his Vault keys not worth it. Speaking of Vault keys. Oh, you know what was actually not worth it about this? Oddly enough. The fact that it requires 100 treasure maps. That might seem like a weird one for it to not be worth it. However, 100 treasure maps... The 100 treasure maps and the Celestials are the two things making crafting a Vault key not worth it, I would say. The other thing that makes it not worth it is if you do the Cursed Runes twice over. That's just a guarantee major orb. And statistically, even though the Celestial cost is slightly higher here, where you're going to be spending about twice as many Celestials and a bit more souls and stuff like that, you get a guarantee orb. And while it can still be a green or something, your chances are still probably better with a guarantee major than it is with a Vault key. But then again, I don't know. The problem with that is the number of maps is a very concerning number there. Because if you divide that into 100, you're eventually going to be bottlenecked on maps. Because that means what? I can do that 275 times. So you're going to get bottlenecked on maps before you're going to get bottlenecked on Celestials. And if you had to buy the maps, it requires you to spend 3,000 glory to obtain 100 maps. We can even see that if we go over here. If we go to shop, go to somewhere's here. Resources. It requires you to spend 3,000 glory to obtain 100 maps. Because obviously that's for 200. So that means the technical cost is 3,000 glory, because eventually you're going to run out of maps if you do that infinitely. So technically the cost of a vault key is 3,000 glory, which that alone already makes it not worth it. 1,000 souls, 10 of those shard thingies, and 4 celestial. So I would say overall it's not worth it. Maybe if you just really hated maps and you wanted to throw it down like 100, 200 times. But once you like get near running out of maps, it is not worth buying maps to craft this. And it's also not worth farming maps to craft this. So you will eventually reach a point where you're bottlenecked on maps where it becomes no longer worth it. I guess prior to then, it's questionably okay value. But if you hit the point where you basically ran out of maps, this is extremely not worth it due to the glory cost alone making it not worth it. Because 3,000 glory is more valuable than a single vault key. By far. By like a really large margin. Like 1,000 glory is pretty much better than a vault key in many situations actually. Like when you get 1,000 glory drop off of a gnome. Well, technically 2,000 glory is about the equivalent of a vault key. Kind of. Or like 1,800 or so. But still. It definitely wouldn't be worth spending 3,000 plus everything else. But yeah, it could be worth it somewhat initially. But after you run low on maps, it's super not worth it. Anyways, what we're about to go do. Was I gonna do some normal farming? I was about to go do something. I did the dailies. We cleared those out. I guess we'll do some normal farming and then do a Palooza in a little bit. Where's the one Dust Devil team? There we go. You definitely want to run out of treasure maps. One thing to keep in mind too is they might buff treasure maps at some point. Kind of like how they buff vault keys in the past. Multiple times over. So far we haven't gotten a buff to treasure hunt in like 4 years. However, just because it hasn't happened in 4 years doesn't mean it won't happen. Hey, finally! Gosh, it took me an hour and a half, but I finally found a verse 2. That one that doesn't exist for me for whatever reason. We've gotten about a dozen verses since then. Only one of them has been verse 2 specifically. But that's good, because every verse 2 is another Palooza. That's exactly what we want to find when we're doing this. It's like the most important drop right now. Like if we get an epic vault key, that'd be kind of cool too. Or a cursed gnome that gives its full drop rate. But the main thing we actually want to see right now when we're doing non-Palooza is specifically verse 2. Because those verse gnomes have a higher chance of appearing as well during vault events. How do you change color of a team's name? You use the hex code in brackets. From 00 to FF. There's websites you can check to figure out hex codes if you don't already have them. Or you basically just adjust the slider and then it gives you the code for it. I have a good majority of them memorized though from when I did graphic design in high school. Also, Isabel posted a link to something that does it. But there's plenty of tools that kind of do it for you. The first two indicate red, the second two indicate green, and the last two indicate blue. And then the colors mix based on what you put the input into. But you just put brackets. You don't need to put the hashtag thingy though. And some things you do. For Gems of War you don't. It's just a bracket, the 2 red, the 2 green, then 2 blue numbers or letters. And then the end of bracket. Which I can kind of show it if I click on one of these. Because I believe it shows the breakdown of it. So like this one. If I click the name, how do I rename it? Rename. It's just that. You just put it into brackets and then you put in the hex thingy. Into whatever you want. And red and green makes yellow. Is Genki still here? I have no clue. Keep in mind that the hex code does count as your title life as far as character limit. So you can only have like a really short word if you do colorize them. because the 8-character long hex code counts as 8 of your like 15 characters or whatever it is for how long your name of your team can be. So it basically makes the name of your team half as long. But it does allow you to make it literally any color. I only do it for a few teams just so I can remember where on earth they are. Yeah, I do need to learn to draw. I've been meaning to learn to draw for ages. There's so many small side projects I keep wanting to get into. And keep, like, slightly starting them and then, like, never getting around to them. That has been the case for the last couple years, if not longer. Also, this channel was even a side project I put away for, like, a couple years. I was originally going to start it before I even went to college. And then didn't even start it until, like, I was nearly done with college. So I managed to put it off for a few years. Because I was originally going to start this channel years before I actually started it. But then eventually got to it. That happens with a lot of projects I do. Where I put it off for years and then eventually I get around to it. I still almost feel tempted to start other YouTube channels too on other specific things. After you've done it once, it feels like it would be a lot easier to try to do it again from scratch. Especially if you want to do some experimental things. Because when you have a new channel, you can just kind of mess around with basically anything. Whereas eventually your channel gets molded into a certain like area, and then you kind of just have to keep doing that over and over again for that channel. Because this one's pretty much locked to only gaming, to this channel at this point. I don't think we'd ever do anything not gaming on this specific channel. Do I ever think about getting married and having a family? Maybe eventually at some point. I've just seen too many horror stories that it doesn't seem too appealing. Like, I don't know of any good relationship. Like, I guess my grandma and her, on my dad's side, like, her grandma and, her, or, you know, who she ended up marrying. Like, I think they were together for, like, 50-something years until he died. And then they still would have been together at that point, too. So that would have been, a really long time. But aside from that, like, I've definitely heard, like, more failures than success stories. Within my own family and just friends. Like, the ratio of divorce to stayed married for like 50+ years is like 1 to 20. As in 1 successful marriage to like 20 bad ones, ratio-wise. Which is like, what, a 5% success rate? That seems pretty bad. That seems statistically something you would not want to do. Based on data I have seen. From personal experience, anecdotal experience. Not sure what the actual data is on it. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Oh, so we should probably go to Palooza soon. Also, I never did reset the game since we did the Palooza, did I? I could tell because it's starting to lag like crazy. So I can't really tell if the most recent patch helped at all with the lag. Because I don't have a side-by-side comparison of like, oh, the exact amount of delay compared to what it was before. I feel like it might have helped slightly. Though it's definitely still lagging. So it definitely didn't help it enough. And yet people keep doing it. I don't know, I do eventually want to raise a kid and everything. I'm just kind of bad when it comes to relationships. Mostly because I'm just like naturally introverted and really antisocial. So it's hard to even engage into the initial actions of starting to do such a thing. Let alone finding someone. And then there's also the money aspect, of which I have nearly none. I feel like that's the main thing that's stopping a lot of people. Like, if I had infinite money, or, you know, like, seemingly infinite, like, let's say millions, like, I'd probably consider starting a family. Like, immediately, almost immediately. But I would probably say money's, like, the biggest factor. Because if I had, like, literal millions, like, I'm pretty sure within, like, a year I'd be like, yeah, I probably want to start a family now. If not almost immediately. It's just such a gigantic expense. Gosh, there are so many spam bots today. That's like the 7th one already. I think we're gonna switch over to Palooza again. How close are we to a level? Oh, we're still a mile away. I was gonna say, are we getting close to getting a level? Nope, not even remotely close. Because normally you want to make sure you're not near getting a level when you start doing the grinds. Oh, you just got your second epic Volkey ever? Nice. Yeah, you can get quite a few during a Vault event. The main location you tend to get them is Paloozas, just because of the sheer amount of gnomes that you're cycling through. So if you can farm Explore enough to start getting all the verses you need for a Palooza, and then grind that really quickly with like a Rowene Quick Kill or a Dust Devil team or anything similar, you can get a lot of value. Oh wait, why is my controller not working? Oh, that was weird. It's not working for a second there. Anyways, I'm gonna go restart the game. Then we'll go do another Palooza. What browser do you use? I use Chrome. However, the one you normally see on screen is not the browser I normally use. The one you see on my screen whenever I bring it up is whatever Steam has integrated into itself. Because whenever you see me bring something directly up on screen, when I do that, like if I bring up like RimWorld or gemsofwar.com or anything, like this one over here, right over here, this is just Steam's browser. It's like literally whatever Steam's version of a browser is. So if I go to like, I don't know, like gemsofwar.com, it's one of the reasons why some of the pages are probably like extra broken. Like when I go to the forum for whatever reason lately, this page is just like broken for some reason. But it's just whatever Steam's browser is. I normally use Chrome, but yeah, Steam, you should probably fix that. Or this website. But it's just like Steam's version of the browser. It's not like any specific browser, I don't think. I have no clue what it is. It's whatever Steam uses. But normally I use Chrome. You just don't normally see it because I use Steam's integrated thingy. Anyways, let's go do... hey, someone has a curse gnome. Too bad they're not real. 3 curse gnomes. Actually, I think we saw that team earlier when we were doing something earlier this week for PvP. Anyways, let's go do Palooza. Also, I think this might be the last Palooza we do stream. For now, anyways. But let's go do it. And that brings us down to 35. Let's make sure to actually remember to start the timer. There we go. Oh, I forgot to change the team. Hopefully there's nothing with high enough durability, otherwise this will be a really annoying battle. No! No! Yes, okay, that wasn't too bad. Okay, let me go change my team and waste like 10 more seconds. Whoops, whoops, whoops. There we go. And that's why you don't use that team. It's good for farming versus and stuff. It's not good for farming Palooza, because it doesn't have enough damage to kill those, as you see. That's why we keep using this team when we do Palooza. And I forgot to switch. Because something like that, it definitely would not one-shot. It's mostly the Soul Gnome. If Soul Gnome didn't exist, you probably would be able to get away with it. But Soul Gnome's durability is what makes you not able to do it. I did not say I would stream to reset. We're definitely not streaming that long. I'm already kind of getting tired. And I have a few other things I need to do tonight. Oh, I never use ad blockers. Ads is how I make money. Oh, why'd I do that one first? That makes no sense. Whoops. Whoops. Please end your turn. End your turn. Thank you. No, I never call Palooza's gaps. I always call them Paloozas. Or just Paloozas. Like, Palooza is the shortest thing I ever call Palooza. I never call it I never call it gaps. Which is always confusing when I say the word gap, because I always use the word gap as the actual word gap, but I don't ever mean it as Palooza. But everyone in the Gems of War community, normally when they see gap, the first thing is like, oh yeah, Palooza. But no, I never abbreviate it as gap. Palooza is the shortest I ever refer to it as. Yeah, Curse Gnome and a Verse Gnome. That's actually really rare. Because Verse Gnomes and Curse Gnomes both have a lower rate of appearing. And we have both of them occur in the same battle. I still have never seen a double Curse Gnome yet. I also never seen a double Verse Gnome since they've nerfed Verses, I believe. Or maybe once. But I've definitely never seen a double Curse Gnome. Which supposedly people have mentioned is a thing. Also, if you really want Curse Shards, or Curse Runes, I mean, if you even see a double or more Curse Gnome, you should probably just stop, even if you're at like this amount of timer. And just wait it out completely. Because that's basically a guarantee, assuming they fix the vault key thing. There's basically a guarantee 20 curse runes. If you still care about getting curse runes. Which I feel like a lot of people still are. I made sure to make sure I was done with the grind beforehand. So it wouldn't be an issue, so I wouldn't have to worry about them ever again. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are still grinding them. Because after I got all the unique drops, I really don't care how many more curse runes I get. Because I don't really need any of the craftable stuff for the most part. Yeah, we still haven't gotten to triple Nisha. We've gotten double Nisha with an Arania, I believe is the best we've ever done. We've gotten double Nisha a few times, but never a triple. I've gotten triple Anu before, but never a triple Nisha. And double Nisha multiple times, but never triple. We got 2 Nishas yesterday, though. Not as a double, but, you know, just in general. Which is normally pretty rare that we get more than 1 Nisha in a day. Normally, because if I ever grind it, I'm normally only grinding it for like half an hour to an hour or so. Hey, you can count the times you've gotten double Nisha on one finger. All one of them. The one time it has happened. No, I think I've gotten it like 3 or 4. I believe I've only gotten triple Anu once. But double Nisha was like 3 or 4 times. It actually happened twice in the same hour before. There was actually 1 hour we got like 8 Nishas or 9 Nishas or 10 Nishas. I can't remember. It was just so many. I lost count. We got like 8 to 10 Nishas within a single hour. And 2 of them were a double. You can count them on the fingers of no hands. All 0. When did we get the second code? Oh, I never did hand out the second code, did I? We'll probably hand it out after this Palooza. Kinda forgot I never did do the second one. Stretch. Ugh. Hey, Epic Valky, nice. Yeah, we'll hand it out on next Epic Valky. There we go, we got it. I was saying that during a Palooza is basically just saying at the end of the Palooza. Because the likelihood that you get a Epic Valky during a Palooza is exceedingly high. Assuming it's during a Vault event. Like, there are some that don't. And sometimes you'll get multiple in a row that don't. But generally you will be averaging about 1 per Palooza. So doing it based on getting an Epic Valky in a Palooza is like pretty much like, yeah, after this Palooza we'll do it. Oh, 4 stone gnomes. If only that was 4 glory. At like the last minute. Oh, an epic Valky. I'll take it. Nice. Oh, there. See, there's our next epic Valky. Now we hand out code. We'll do that at the end of this thing. 2 epic Valkyes this time around. Would be nice if we see 3+. It's very rare that it does 3+. It's normally 0, 1, or 2. And occasionally you'll see it a 3 or 4 or 5. I don't think we've ever gotten more than 5 in a single Palooza. Oh, it is technically possible to get like 20 to 30. You'd have to have the most absurd luck ever. But it is possible to get like 20 or 30 Paloozas in a, epic Valkyes in a single Palooza. You would just need nearly every Valky you get to be an epic Valky, which would require an absurdly high amount of luck. But it's theoretically possible. Realistically, you can hit double digits epic Valkyes in a single Palooza. Very unlikely, but possible. Three glory gnome. Like, that's kind of the one we'd kind of want to save, since I'm not really caring about curse gnomes necessarily. Because 3 of them is going to average roughly 2,000 glory or so. Actually, it would probably average closer to 1,500 or so. It's still a really sizable amount. Was that another epic Valky? Was that a mythic ingot, or was that an epic Valky? Because that'd be our 3rd this cycle. You now do 2 Pneumo Paloozas as farming now? Yeah, I think the best way to do Palooza, if you're running low on them as well, or, you know, Vault Events in general, is farm verses for like an hour, and then do all your Paloozas, and then do it again, and just keep repeating it that way. For people that don't have Spear Paloozas. It's like 1 hour of grind for verses, then do every verse you have as Paloozas, and then rinse and repeat. Because per hour you can find around 1 to 3 sets. On average, it is possible you find 0, obviously. But normally you're finding about 1 to 3 full sets of Paloozas per hour. Assuming you're just spamming Explore the whole time at a low difficulty. Curse, no. So here would be the point if we actually wanted curse runes where you'd hold until the end of timer. However, it's not what we're here for. Too much of a hassle to keep... Oh, you use 2 naps. Oh, I see. I see what you mean by that now. You use 2 at a time, every time you use them. The main reason I like doing it 15 minutes at a time is... Oh, wow, we got a curse and a verse. Interesting. Another instance of that. That's the second curse verse we've gotten this Palooza. Oh, so did I just get an epic Valky from him? Oh, no, that was his verse. Oh, we even got Gosh, we just got 3 verses in a single Palooza. That's almost a whole Palooza refund. Which is very rare to see in the current state of the game. It used to be a lot more common to such a degree where you'd actually profit from it when they had that one day. Though since they've reworked it multiple times, it is extremely rare to get back your full Palooza during a Palooza. Though it is still possible too. We're at 3 out of 4 pieces of our Palooza, including the verse 2 we actually need. But yeah, it's still possible that you get a refund on your Palooza. It's very rare though. I would say it happens like maybe once every 50 Paloozas. It can still happen though. A full Palooza refund during a Palooza, while still getting all the other loot. Overall, that was a really good Palooza to end on. We'll go hand out a code once we hit the timer down. So hopefully one of these other ones has a good setup. I want to see like 30 glory gnomes into like curse or something. Would be ideal. Or just 4 glory. We're gonna roll one more time. Whatever this last one is, we'll stall on. Alright, what are we stalling on? I don't need more chaos shards. At least one of them's glory, if nothing else. Or chaos runes, I mean. Or chaos shard. No, chaos shards is right? Yeah, chaos shards. I was right the first time. So we got 70 chaos shards, the lowest amount of glory. That's unfortunate. And some useless ingots. So kind of meh. Oh, there we go. Anyways, let's go ahead of the code. How many pity are we up to? 20 pity. Alright, let me go hand out code. Oh, where's the code section? 1 second. Let's go into our magical bag of codes. Grab one from our magical bag of codes that we are very running out of, and I need to go get more because we will not have enough for the rest of next week. Though I do have enough that if she gives me more on like Monday or Sunday or Tuesday, we'll still have enough. We have till like Wednesday, I think. Okay, where on earth is the code section? I just used multiple seconds ago. Or maybe not seconds. But several minutes ago. By several minutes, I mean like half an hour ago. Which at this point might almost be an hour ago. But anyways, if anyone else has any other questions, do let me know. Make sure to go over them. Otherwise, we'll probably farm a little bit of normal explorer and then probably just call it a wrap. At least for tonight. We still got 2 more days of super grinding though. But anyways, there's the code. Same place as always. Just click the link or go to gemsofwar.com for game code section. You guys probably know how to use it by now, but there you guys go. Definitely feel free to leave a like on the stream. Helps out a lot and is greatly appreciated as well. And let's go do a little bit more grinding. And then we'll probably call it a night. Let's do some normal team farming. See if we can find one more verse 2 before the end of the stream. Though we're not going to keep going until we do because it could take literally an hour or 2. We could be here a while. But ideally we'll find one. Or at least any verse. Also, we haven't found a single curse gnome outside of Palooza today. So far we gotten like 10 chaos runes. I mean, curse runes. Very small amount. What's my team for epic vault battles? Lately, I've just been running Phoenicia at it. Like Phoenicia with black manacles. Pretty much a standard Phoenicia. It also means if you're running Phoenicia for Explorer, you don't even need to change your team either. Which means if you're doing it after dailies, within your dailies, which we will be, we'll probably throw it into our dailies when we go clear out Adventure Board and Dungeons. We'll probably start throwing an extra 12 vault keys in per day. And we're probably just going to use Phoenicia team because we would already have Phoenicia team set. I'm pretty sure it's one of the more popular options. There's quite a few things you can run for it. But you already use Phoenicia for so many other things that it makes it so you don't have to switch team if you're synergizing it with other things. So we're going to start throwing that down as a daily, probably starting on Monday. And start doing like a dozen Volkeys every day until we run out, if we ever run out. Theoretically, if we do 500 plus Volkeys every Vault event, we will never actually run out of Volkeys. Doing 12 per day. However, assuming we somehow get 0 between now and then, which is literally impossible, but if we happen to get 0 somehow, we'd have enough to go for half a year, doing 12 per day. Well, technically we have enough to go pretty much forever, assuming we farm Vault events enough. You got 5 epic Volkeys in a single run, nice. Yeah, my last Palooza was really lucky. We got, what, 3 Volkeys? Pretty much our full Palooza refunded. As well as we found like 3 or 4 Cursed Gnomes. As well as twice we found a Cursed Gnome with a Verse Gnome. In the same set. Happened 3 times this stream, 2 in one single Palooza. Also, where are all the gnomes at? Come out, gnomes! I just want to find a few of you before we end the stream. I think we'll go until we find a verse or a curse. Whichever one happens first. Ideally, it's curse or verse 2. For the next curse or verse, we'll probably end the stream. Just want to get one more. I want to see at least one curse too, if we can. We haven't seen one wild curse yet. They were all in Palooza. Oh gosh, that lag. I never did reset after that Palooza though. The key team. Which key team? The one to farm keys or the key scouting key team? Oh no, how is Zukov quicker at that though? All Phoenicia has to do is cast Leprechaun, cast Phoenicia, cast Black Manacles, you win. Which sounds like a lot of casting, but that whole cycle takes like 20 seconds. Maybe a little higher than 20 seconds. Because Black Manacle cast makes it take a little bit longer. It's definitely under 30 seconds. Yeah, Scouting Key Team when it was meta was a lot of fun. I miss that meta. It's still kind of usable, but it's not the same. If anyone else has any other questions that you want me to go over, do let me know. Otherwise, next Curse Gnome or next verse, we'll probably call it for now. Assuming they exist. They don't want to come out and play. Oh no, I still haven't really found any 2 Zugov team I personally liked. Oh, I found a normal gnome. He had gems in him. Small amount of gems, but gems nonetheless. Another normal gnome. It does seem like the most common. Oh gosh, 100 souls. Why do you even have that as your drop table? What's even more annoying is Cedric has a 2,500 souls, which isn't a useless amount of souls, but compared to the rest of his drop table, it seems kind of out of place. It's like the mid-range drop of a soul gnome. So it does give up to 3,000 when you get it with 20%, but still, it's kind of a bad drop. I don't need that pet, do I? That's a giant pet, if I'm not mistaken. Which is a good pet to have for one really specific team. I already have it maxed. Also, it's normally not worth doing pets that you already have maxed during a vault event, because there's a 0% chance to find gnomes during a vault. During a pet event, you cannot find any gnomes. So during a vault event, you normally don't want to do pets that you already have maxed. Because, gosh, 3 of them in a row of the normal one. But because during the duration, you do not have a single chance to find any of the gnomes. So unless it's a pet you actually need, you normally don't want to take them. Obviously, if it's a pet you need, you definitely want to take it. But if it's already maxed, unless you just really want more pet food, I would normally skip on it. When it's not a vault event, it could be kind of okay value. There we go. That's what I wanted to find. Okay, we can end the stream now. I got what I wanted. Verse 2 as well. Which I was going to say maybe we go until we find verse 2 specifically. Otherwise, we could be here for literally an hour or two. So I wasn't going to say exactly that, but we did get it. So goal achieved. And the main reason I want that is we need verse 2 to replenish our verses, our Palooza's. Since we were using a bunch, I wanted to kind of replenish it slightly. I just realized, when are we ever going to get Cursed Gnome Bait? They still have never released it. They're probably going to charge money for it too, which is annoying. But there we go, another one. So currently there's a 20 gap. Gosh, this was as low as a 3 gap before. And now it's already hit 20 somehow. Also, verse 4s at one point were my lowest verse. It is now my most common verse. How this happened, I have no clue. But when we first started, verse 4 was the one I was needing the most of. Now it is verse 2 by a very large margin, but somehow the one I had at the lowest is now the highest. Go figure. Now, if you could just do that for verse 2, that'd be great. Make my current lowest my highest as well, and do the same thing over again, because we could really use that many. There is a point where we might eventually have verse 3 be our lowest. We almost got to a point with a really lucky day where we're just getting a really good amount of verse 2s, but fortunately it wasn't quite enough. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it there. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. If you have time to farm, you still have another 2 days as well as the rest of the day. So full solid 2 days to go and farm the rest of Saturday as well as all of Sunday until Monday reset. So plenty of time to still farm up the vault event if you want to get on that grind. It's like 2 days, another 4.5 hours or so. So plenty of time to be grinding at that. I'll be doing so again tomorrow night, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2.5 hours prior to now tomorrow. And yeah, we'll get the grind on this weekend. And we might throw a midday stream in there somewhere to try doing some midday grind. If nothing else, I'll definitely try to do a little bit of it off stream, if nothing else. But I might just do a stream for it, we'll see. Or I might just keep it for the nightly streams. But we'll go from there. But definitely, if you have the time, definitely get some farming in. It's the best time to be farming in the game, and great time to be getting a lot of resources. Most notably, verses, so you can do Paloozas. Paloozas, so you can get a bunch of Vault Keys and Epic Vault Keys. As well as if you still need those Cursed Runes that came in with 6.1, this is the best time to be farming Cursed Runes, so definitely make sure to get on that if you need any of the newer stuff from the 6.1 update the other month. So there you go. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. If I can get to the end button, 1 second. Why is it not wanting to do the thing? 1 second. There we go. Goodbye, everyone.